Hello, Bashar. Greet.
And to you, good day.
I am so honored and happy to have some time with you.
It is
Thank,
our passion and our pleasure to interact with you as well.
thank you. So I have few questions and one request. So I'll start
Yes.
with the first. I want to say a statement that when you gave the teachings of the eye of the storm, it's everything was very clear and understood, but it wasn't so real. And I must say that this time, right now, it becomes so real with the awakening
Yes.
of
We told you that 2020 was going to be chaotic and nuts.
it's a wonderful nuts.
Well, it can be if used that way. Yes, that's the opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, I am proud. I have to say as a statement, I'm proud of every person who's in the street right now,
Yes.
who's creating a voice for us. It's a voice.
Yes. So
Love.
participate in your own way as best you can.
Yes, thank you. So, take you to the permission slip of the passing through the eye of the needle.
Yes.
One of the items that you said to focus on was focusing on my future self. I think it's step 4 to
Yes, yes, yes. To start being informed by your future self rather than your past self.
yes. So I feel again I understand the wording. I just don't. I feel like I'm there and available, but it's like the nothingness. It's
All right. Well, I'll give you a little assistance with that. All right.
okay.
So
Yes.
imagine a version of you in your mind's eye, in your imagination. See how a version of you in the future would be acting differently than you might be acting now in doing everything that you might do in your life. Watch the differences between how that version of you does things that are more in alignment with your passion, with who you truly prefer to be, rather than the way you might have done them in the past. Observe more carefully, no matter what it is that that future version of you is doing, how that you is doing it differently than the way it might have been done in the past that's more representative of joy and alignment. And then start mirroring that behavior as closely as you can. You will then form a stronger bond, a resonance connection with the future self. And that means the future self can give you more information that can guide you forward rather than remembering the way things used to be done, which anchors you to the past self, which then gives you information about how things used to be done rather than the way things can be done. So that's a technique you can use in your imagination to see the future self living her life in the way that would be representative of her joy in everything that she may do, whether it's simple things during the day or bigger things, doesn't matter. But the more you mirror the way she does them, the more you will connect to the future self and receive information from the future self that will pull you forward to become that version of you. Does that help?
Um, it's the beginning of hell.
Oh,
So
all right.
when you say that, the
Yes.
reason it's not the complete vision is it's not that I need to right there when I do the discipline or they actually what I'm referring to probably I think I'm start getting it. So I'm referring to at the time when I do the discipline. I love doing it every morning. It's give me a nice boost into the
That's
day.
up to you.
Yes. So in that place, so I'm visioning her, me, or him. It might be him. I don't know.
No, no, no. I'm talking about the future self in this life.
That's not understood by me here.
Well, it's understood by you now because I just told you. In other words, years from now, will you be living more in the way that you really prefer to as opposed to the way you're choosing to do things now?
Truthfully, I hope so, but I don't know.
Well, all right, let's stop there.
Yes.
You can know so. You don't have to hope so. You can make the choice. But the point is whatever it is, that version of you is doing years from now, you can start mimicking her now.
But is she or he? It's she.
Are you a she?
I got it. No, I am a she. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I corrected myself.
All right.
When I am the future me is going to deliver images to me.
Is going to deliver information to you and feelings to you and images and what have you to get you to start resonating more as the future you. To behave more as the future you. To give you the information that would be more representative of being the future self. So that you can more quickly become that version of you. But you can use your imagination to get yourself there faster by imagining the way she would be living her life that's different than what you're doing now, and then simply mimicking her in all the things that she's doing. That's the technique you can add to your meditation. Is that making any sense to you at all?
It does. It makes
All right. So we're suggesting a way that you can accelerate the process.
Okay. I think I took it more harder, more.
Yes, it's not that complicated. Don't overthink it.
Yeah. So with that, thank you. With that, I just like a footnote on the other spinning of the wheel exercise, the permissions you gave us. It's kind of the same feeling comes to me is when you give potential timelines. I focus on that. I pick up one and I focus on it, but it doesn't take me any further.
It's just a stretching exercise. It doesn't mean you have to find yourself fully in that reality. It's just a way of stretching your imagination to connect to other probabilities so that you can connect to the probabilities in your timeline that are relevant for you. It's just a stretching exercise. It doesn't mean you have to become a person in that reality.
Yeah, well, it's 15 minutes per scene. It's a long time when
You don't have to do them all on the same day.
No, not all. Even okay, I got you.
You can do them one a day. You don't have to. You can make up your own scenario of parallel reality too. Remember, we have always told all of you that when we give you a permission slip, you can allow your imagination to alter it in whatever way actually works better for you. You don't have to stick to exactly the way we have outlined it. We're just giving you a seed. You get to water it, and you get to allow it to grow in whatever way, shape, or form you desire.
Yeah, it's a process of freedom.
Yes, it is. And stretching your imagination to make sure that the way you're doing it is what works for you.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, please. Yes. I'm going to read it. Few months ago, I had to put down my dog. She had difficulties with her body.
All right. But of course, her spirit is still with you.
So that's where I'm going. I felt a great agonizing loss with her leaving, and
I understand the grief that you're talking about, but nevertheless, you haven't lost anything.
And probably we're talking to the the body mind consciousness here of me that I created the garden, I buried her in her garden, and I feel her. I could feel her. I talk to her. Yes. Sometimes I open the door and I feel like she's standing there, wants to come in.
And she may be. But the idea is that, of course, you will meet her again in spirit. But the idea is that you haven't lost her. She's still with you. You just have to allow yourself to be able to perceive it a little bit more strongly. That's all.
How do I do that?
Well, you stop grieving like you've lost something, because when you imagine that something is lost, you break a connection in energy. If you understand that she's still with you, just in a different form, you'll start feeling her more strongly.
Uh-huh. And does she know? I mean,
yes, of course. In a sense, she's waiting for you to recognize that she's still there by stop pretending that she's not.
I feel like I'm pretending that she is when I don't see her.
But you're actually pretending that she's not.
wait. Yeah, I got you. I understand that.
All right.
So is she not going to reincarnate into another?
Reincarnation is an idea and an experience you can create, but it doesn't actually exist in the way most people on your planet think it does. Everything exists at the same time. Everything. So how can one thing become another thing if both exist simultaneously?
Yeah, that
You can
makes
have
sense.
that experience. You can create the experience as if you have become something else, but that's not what actually happens mechanically. So, yes, the oversoul of the animal may extend itself into other beings that would feel like a reincarnation. And in that sense, yes, there may be many counterparts of that particular animal that, if you encountered them, would feel like your dog reborn. But that's just because they exhibit a similar energy because they're part of the same oversoul. It's not that the dog actually became another dog. Because the dog will always, for you, also be in spirit. Now, you may encounter another counterpart that will feel like your dog has reincarnated. That can happen. And therefore, a connection can be made physically too in that way. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you necessarily lose the connection with the spirit version of your dog either, because that has always existed too. So it's up to you as to what to focus on: the physical representation, the spirit representation, or both. You can do both.
Well, how would I? I mean, I understand, but I'll still ask it because that's how I feel it. How would I change myself not to be so physical? Like I want to hug her, I want to feel her. I mean, I feel her in my being, but when I don't feel the
Because physical reality is a little denser than spirit, you may have to take a little bit more time to be able to relax in a meditative state, to really be able to feel the spirit dog, because it's a more refined version of energy. At the same time, like I said, sometimes in order for people to actually feel the physical sensation, you may attract another counterpart of the same oversoul that you can actually have a physical contact with. So again, you might do both.
I got you. I understand it.
All
Thank
right.
you. Last thing,
Yes.
um, I am. I just really asked for fatherly advice while entering an intense water fasting detox. Right now, I started it and I feel the discomfort of pain
Yeah.
of the body and high emotional roller coaster. There are times that the state that I'm in is so unbearable.
Well, if you're truly detoxing, it might simply be the reaction of your body to the fact that you're dumping a lot of toxins into your system all at once. You don't necessarily have to do it that strongly. You can, shall we say, pull back a little bit. You can do it a little bit more simply, a little bit more softly, a little bit more slowly. It's up to you. You don't have to make yourself uncomfortable, but sometimes detoxing will dump a lot of toxins into your system. They will pass, they will get out of your system eventually, but you can slow down a little bit
Mm,
if that's more comfortable for you. All right?
yeah.
All right.
I thank you so much. I love you so much.
Our unconditional love to you as well. We thank you for the co creation and bid you good day.
Good day, Bashar.